Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Critical Podcast. My name is Jimmy Good, and I am your host, and joining me this week is my go-to podcast compadre, Mr. Joe Lever. Joe, how are you doing, pal?
Doing excellent, Jimmy. Good to join you again for another CR podcast.
Yes, I completely agree. And for those of you out there waiting and hoping that Levi will show up, he may show up eventually. We never know with this guy. He's all around the world. He's like Carmen Sandiego. We don't know where he is. We could do that thing where we send him around the world like they used to do with Matt Lauer. Joe,
when you said that, I did not think of any of those things. I thought of that song, Around the World. I can't even sing it.
Whoa.
Like that kind of techno-y Around the World.
Sure, I don't know what you're talking about. But
Come on. All right.
That's beautiful.
Sound popped into my mind right away.
That's okay. What I was going off of was the old Today Show thing where they'd send Matt Lauer everywhere and they put like a scrim behind him and he'd be like in tropical clothes and it'd be like a beach and they'd be like, hey, he'd be like, where am I? And then they pull it away and it'd be like Red Square in Russia and he'd be like freezing because he's like, I'm in shorts. Like, it's like, oh, you did it. Like, got to get those morning views. But Levi might be showing up. But if you're joining us here for the very first time, we enjoy talking about movies, video games, anything in entertainment, really, TV shows, theme parks, music, whatever. There's one thing we need to talk about, though. Something that's cropped up that I'm kind of excited for, and I hope you are too, Joe. Hobbs and Shaw trailer. Now, for people who don't know about Hobbs and Shaw, Fast and Furious, a spin-off from that franchise. Who would have thought that franchise ever deserved to get a spin-off? Because it's like, they've made 8 movies so far. Why? We'll start spinning them off now. Anyway, taking what I honestly consider to be the 2 probably best aspects of the recent Fast and Furious stuff and making its own film. Honestly, seriously, it's almost like a mini Expendables type of thing, but just like trimmed all the fat, taking Dwayne Johnson, Jason
literally.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, for sure. Yeah, like what kind of percent body fat on? I mean, like probably nothing on those guys. But these two guys, this kind of like, odd couple, and having them team up together to fight super-powered Idris Elba. I could have written this down, Joe, and I don't think people would believe it, honestly. But now that we have the trailer, what do you think of this as a decent fan of the franchise yourself?
Sarcasm. I caught that there. Sarcasm.
I don't want to speak for you, Joe.
The only part that I'm a fan of is at the end of the movie where Vin Diesel pulls up and Paul Walker's in the car next to him.
Oh my god, dude, that's not the end of every movie. Like, oh my gosh, you're sick. You're sick, man. They talked about bringing him back, right?
Shut up.
Okay, well, I'm just saying that they talked about bringing Paul Walker back somehow.
I've never actually cried in a movie until that moment. Oh my god, dude. I was like, clicking her ticket. Okay, I'm kidding. That was a poor taste joke. No, I mean, some of them were kind of like, like I could enjoy them. I liked the one where it was kind of a tribute to Paul Walker and all. That was enjoyable, mainly only for that reason, which is kind of a shame. But beyond that, they're kind of a little zany, a bit of a joke.
Yeah, for sure. They've become like insane. Like when I've heard people talk about this, the original one was about street racing and stealing DVD players. Now look where they are.
Yeah, stealing DVD players. Now they're hiding from satellites that can find them anywhere.
And like falling out of the back of planes in cars, and they're just like, it's fine, don't worry about it. Like,
whatever. I mean, the characters were always kind of interesting for the most part, and that's kind of what they built it upon, and then that and a little bit of eye candy with the cars and whatnot, but that's about where they drew the line, or where I drew the line. This spin-off, I think it's more of the same, only better, because Dwayne Johnson and Jason Statham, like in the trailer, you watch it and you're like their interactions and like they're the two of. I mean, it's the same old cheesy bullshit. Like we got this bad guy and we need to get 2 of our best to team up. We need somebody who can think like the bad guy and then the guy that always gets his guy.
Yep.
And then the guy's leaning over his desk briefing him. we're gonna need the two of you to team up, and they're looking at each other. What with this? This guy's an asshole, and they're both saying it at the same time. It's like, okay, it's good, but I mean, yeah, it's like a forced. You guys. I mean, 1 minute that guy's wanted for everything under the sun. Now they're gonna be like, you gotta help us, and he's gonna do it for some reason. I don't know.
Well, he helped in the last one. Remember, like the Shaw brothers decided to like help save freaking Vin Diesel's baby. Which I'm sorry, I'm mixing this all up, but it's technically Dominic Toretto's baby. Spoiler alert for Fate of the Furious. But maybe that helped, and that's why he's still like Jason Statham's still a bad guy.
Oh yeah, he had a baby, huh?
Yeah, he had the best part of that whole movie is where like the baby was in that little carrier, and he was kind of like saving the baby from the plane and like taking a bunch of dudes out, and he was like kind of like kick the baby down a hall in the little carrier. He's like, wait right here. And then he'd go shoot a few dudes, and the kid would smile. And
whose kid was it? It was Vin Diesel, and who else?
It was she was a policeman from Brazil, and he like got together with her for a little bit of time, but then he found out that Letty was still alive because they all thought Letty was dead. Sure. Yeah, and then they killed her because they're like, we don't want to have to deal with her anymore. Charlize Theron killed her. Yep. Really great, huh? Riveting stuff. Yeah, I liked him and Luke Evans as brothers. I really enjoyed too. Like Jason Statham, they kind of flew in with like those like wingsuit kind of jetpack things at one point. Like it was really weird. Anyway,
yeah, they look nothing alike.
No, that's okay. Well, their mom's Helen Mirren or whatever it is. That's a cool family. They could do a whole movie trilogy about that family. That's all I'm trying to say. You're welcome, Fast and Furious, because they call it like Fast and Furious Presents. Like they show like Dwayne Johnson getting out of bed. I'm like, Fast and Furious Presents? Like, what is that? Is that going to be a thing now? Where like the next Fast and Furious is like Fast and Furious 9, Fast and Furious Presents, Fast and Furious 9. It's like, like okay, like I knew it was in the same. Anyway, here's my question, Joe. Are you interested in this?
I am. Yeah, I think mostly for the comedy and the wittiness and the back and forth between two, I would say, iconic actors for this kind of role. Yeah, I think it'll be good. Just based off the trailer, I think it'll be entertaining. Will they defy physics, and will it be the hokiest movie you've ever seen? Yeah, maybe a little bit, but sure. You can enjoy that too. Just don't take it too seriously.
Yeah. I think they had to do the whole Fast and Furious trailer thing where they show a car doing something crazy, like sliding underneath two semis, but then also show like sexy ladies at a club, but they had like all of this like metal on, like it was like a weird thing. Like they always have to show those two factors in every Fast and Furious thing, even in the spin-offs. But what got to me, Joe, was you're talking about this guy who was describing them and then kind of said like, hey, you guys need to work together. The weird thing is like, that's the guy who explains who Dwayne Johnson is and who's Jason Statham is, but he's also talking to them in real time and saying like, you two need to work together. So they're like sitting in that place and he's like Owen Shaw or whatever. And he's like, this is the most, he's a ghost or whatever. He's a bad guy, but we need him. But Idris Elba's a bad guy too. And you got to stop him. And it's like the trailer, when you start to really break it down, it starts to fall apart because it's like, it's supposed to just be a straightforward, dumb action movie. I mean, the Rock just saying like, what did he say? Like a tall or a cold can of whoop ass or something like that. Yeah. Like, that's what I expected though. But I love, like you said, the comedy. That's what I'm most excited about too. Because when I saw that trailer, Joe, all I could think about is how you and I interact with each other. I was thinking like when he does that part at the end where he's like, go on my count of three. It's like, 1, 2, 3. Dwayne Johnson's jumping out, rappelling, and there's just, just says like, see ya. He takes like the elevator down, which is just like the smart way, where he's like, why would I do this? And Dwayne Johnson,
I do love that he lands on the one guy that's rappelling, swings him over into the elevator, and mouths the words.
That's so good. And he's just clapping in the elevator. He's like, oh, it's very, you're doing good work. Like, but the thing that that's exciting to me. And then seeing them fight side by side, because I remember seeing them fight one another in the past. And I love Jason Statham. I think he's an incredibly talented fighter. And I think that if he was supposed to fight somebody like Dwayne Johnson in his other movies, he wouldn't be taking hits from him. He'd kind of be dodging around him. He takes some pretty big hits and gets like thrown around in that fight scene. So it's like, I'd rather watch them fight side by side, like running at a couple of dudes. And those guys are like, oh crap. Like, there's a lot coming at me right now. So that's the most exciting thing to me. And watching Dwayne Johnson spin a truck around and smash into everybody and just being cocky about saving the world. He's like, yeah, it's the fourth time. Like the movie knows. Like this is the fourth time I've saved the world. I'm pretty good at it. Like it's like this
Yeah.
is like 80s action movie, man. And I love it. It knows what
Yeah,
it is.
I hope that it, like, differentiates itself from the Fast and Furious to
Yeah.
where it becomes its own thing. I think it's not gonna be like, excuse me, I'm a little sick. It's not gonna be like, Dwayne Johnson's, like, skyscraper bullcrap or
No.
his, CIA intelligence thing with Kevin Hart. This is
Ugh.
gonna be somewhat legit, I think. So, um, I think it could work for future too, longevity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hoping so because I think they announced that Dwayne Johnson is not going to be in Fast and Furious 9. Because remember hearing all that stuff about him and Vin Diesel having issues working on like movies and sets together. So it's like maybe
Uh,
it got to that point where they wanted to bring The Rock in. And remember what The Rock used to say? He's like, I'm like Viagra for freaking film series or whatever, or something like film
yeah.
franchises. So, and they probably saw his star potential, and Jason Statham and some movie executive was like, just let's like when people are checking the boxes office seeing that latest movie, what do they like the most? They're like, okay, why don't we just make a movie with those two guys? We don't have to have the full cast. They could just be those two. They can do their own thing, and that way they can do a trilogy. When this Fast and Furious stuff actually like is supposed to end with 10 of them, this Hobbs and Shaw stuff could still keep going. It could just be like, oh, it's the new franchise. That's the new stuff. Hobbs and Shaw 2. Hobbs and Shaw take Tokyo. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
But
I
they're
think
doing another Fast and Furious?
they're doing 2 more. They're going up to 10. It's 9 and 10.
Why?
Because they want that nice round number. And
What more do they have to tell?
my question is, see, it's not so much that, Joe. I just want to know, like, because the series has gone so exponentially insane. I just want to know what 10 is going to be. Because, like, whatever 9 is, it's going to be crazy, right? But, like, whatever 10 is going to be, it's, like, got to be space, right? It has to be space.
Space.
Like, they have to be on the moon. And,
Yeah, they
Vin
go
Diesel's
from
just
cars to rockets. Yeah, whatever.
oh my gosh. There's NASA's like, we need the most extreme people on the planet to go up to the moon. They're like, we found them. It's a bunch of illegal street racers.
That would be the line, and everybody in the theater would just roll their eyes as hard as possible to where they fall out of their head.
I would love it so much. And they're like, you know why we chose you, Dominic? And he's like, because I'm the best. They're like, no, because you've got family. And he's like, oh, mi familia. Like, rolls out like a Corona or whatever
He's
the beer
like,
is.
you should have a Corona with me.
I would love it so much. I'd love it even more if Kurt Russell transitioned out of being Mr. Nobody in the CIA or whatever, and he's just like, yeah, I run NASA now. Like they just completely take over. Like it's just so dumb at that point. Yeah, but I'll be seeing this, and I wish
we gotta take a step back. NASA would say this. You know why we chose you, don't you, Dominic? Because I'm the best. No, because you got friends. No, I've got family.
that would be
have
good.
to correct him. He would be
Sure,
like,
yeah,
"No,
you'd have to do that.
family."
They're gonna be like, you have friends in high places. And you'd be like, I got family in high places. You'd be like, they're like, Paul Walker's on the moon. I'm gonna save him. That'd be great. I want their enemy to be just gravity and oxygen. You know what I mean? At that point, because like nothing could stop these guys. So it's like, I want them to be like the forces of nature against like the Toretto crew, where it's just Tyrese. It's like, man, I can't hold my breath that long. It's like just like a bunch of yelling. But Ludacris is like, I made you this oxygen tank. It should be good for you. It's just, oh man, sounds like a 10 out of 10. But anyway, Hobbs and Shaw, I'm really excited about. I think it's dumb and stupid and over the top, and it's exactly what I want it to be. Like, it's not gonna be like, oh man, these guys probably aren't gonna be like crying and sad and trying to understand each other. It's gonna be a lot of like one-upsmanship, like in the prison sequence back in the other one. It's like that's all I want, man. That's all I want. But I'm excited about it. I hope we can see it together, Joe. Even if we can't, we need to like watch it and immediately converse. Be like, dude, did you see? It's so stupid. Oh man. Did you see that Jason Statham takes out a dude with like a champagne bottle? He like put it in his. He's like, I'm what you call a champagne problem, and I'm like,
Yeah, I like.
of course, yeah.
Like
Would you take a scoop of Folgers like he does, like Dwayne Johnson, and just straight up eat it?
Is
Like,
that what he did, or was it pre-workout?
people thought it was pre-workout. I don't know. It kind of looked like coffee.
It's Folgers too. Yeah.
I think it's coffee because I think that's part of his thing. And then friggin' Jason Statham's over there with like a beer. presumably in the morning. I don't just
Yeah, but they're constantly, even in the trailer, obviously they accentuate it, but they're constantly drawing eye. They're accentuating their differences,
yeah.
but they are also similarities, or
Yeah.
kinda. What's the word? Like they're a metaphor for each other.
They're like a
Th-
foil.
Yeah,
Yeah. And the why
yeah,
can't we be friends? Like that and that plays in their fights and stuff too. It's not like they're
yeah.
completely helping each other out. I'm sure at the end of the film they'll do some sick combos and stuff, but like in the beginning it's gonna be like, that was mine, and he's no, that was mine. Like, a lot of back and forths, and I hope there's
I
a
like
lot
how
of
you
like
try and throw the British accent in there.
I tried a little bit. I was looking at it because Jason Statham's got like a British accent, but it's kind of like rusty too. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
I like both these guys. I really do, especially as action heroes. And like I said, it's kind of mini Expendables, like just a little bit. And
yeah.
Idris
Do you
Elba.
remember the Transformers movie with the blonde model that what's his name's dating? Yeah, he's doing his
Um,
internship thing or whatever. It's the
no, you're
one
talking
where the
about
guy
three?
Dark Side of the Moon, right?
Chicago. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Setting
Yeah,
up
yeah,
crime. Yep, 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 yep,
yeah,
yep, yep.
yeah. So the blonde model, Rosie Huntington Whitley, Victoria's Secret model, that's who Jason Statham's married to. This is
Oh,
his wife.
really?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were gonna make some sort of
No,
comments
no,
about.
not at all. I just wanted to close the gap for people so they knew a little background on Jason Statham.
Sure. The actress who's in this one too, if anybody remembers, she was actually one of the kind of sub villains in Mission Impossible Fallout. And all I'm thinking is like, you've had a pretty crazy couple of years, lady. Like you're going from working with
Wow.
Tom Cruise to these two boys. Like that's pretty
Yeah.
nuts. Like good for you. Like
You know
bravo.
what is funny? Jason Statham, and it's not funny, it's interesting, is that Jason Statham manages to make movies like The Mechanic, or what's the other one where he drives, is that there's another one where he's a driver.
You're talking about don't tell me. It's like his most famous one, and I used to watch it all the time.
I know.
The Transporter.
Yeah, and you used to watch it all the time.
Dude,
They're
he's like
actually pretty good. He
they're
takes
decent.
those movies that are pretty, substandard, and he makes them entertaining. Like, and he fits the bill to a T. And there's something just like gripping about him.
Yeah.
Does a job.
Yeah, well, that was before he was like pretty famous. I remember one of the most amazing fight scenes I think I'd ever seen was when I don't know how they did this, but when he like fights a bunch of dudes and there's a bunch of oil everywhere and he breaks off some bike pedals and he fights dudes because he's on top of the bike pedals and he's like
Oh,
kicking dudes and stuff and he's like super slippery so people try to grab him, he's like "What?" Like and I'm like,
yeah.
whoa, like this is really weird, like, but it was a memorable fight scene. Good job, Statham. He probably doesn't do oil fight scenes anymore. I don't blame him. I wouldn't want to do it either. Drop a match in there and it'll burn for days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like Jason Statham. Last question before we move on. Idris Elba, superpowers. Is it too much? Is it too weird that he's like bulletproof?
He's bulletproof. Yeah. How does he get enhanced? Explain it. Explain it. I want to know.
I
If they're just like, hey, we just shocked him real good. It's this experimental thing we're doing. If they just now just leave it at that. Don't ask any questions. He's superhuman. Oh.
That's the breaking point for you. It's not the safe in Brazil that they like pulled around behind him and like smashed into all those buildings.
No, I know. I just hope that they like
They
give a little
try.
scientific backing to it besides just, oh, we did this crazy illustrious thing. We shocked his back and it did things to him. Because in the trailer, that's what they show. He's like strapped in and they like shock him in the back and stuff. And it's like, yeah.
I doubt they'll do it, but I would love it so much if like Hobbs and Shaw found the facility and then they both were like, let's just give ourselves superpowers really quick.
Yeah. They do it too, and it's like, yeah, the
See,
Rock
like,
superpower.
yeah, the Rock would be like, I'm already done. Like he'd be like, I don't need it. Whatever.
So Statham would be like, well, I don't need it either.
Yeah, exactly. That might happen. That would be actually so funny if the climax of the movie would be way easier and there's like, no, I don't need it. And he'd be like, no, well, you're the one who suggested it. It's just like, fine, neither of us need it. It's just like, that'd be so, oh my God, please do that. That's it. Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah,
Yeah,
but I do like Idris Elba. I really do
I
like
do
him.
too. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he can play a convincing villain.
Is he convincing enough where he says that I'm the bad guy and it's not that bad? Where you're like, all right.
I like that he says it so nonchalant. That's what makes him bad.
Yeah, it's true. He kind of has that suit on and stuff too. So I'm just interested if they're gonna add super power individuals into like are they gonna do this to Vin Diesel? you know?
God, I hope not. I got friends, I got family. Give me another Corona. You know?
Just
Or he
crushes
just like eats the bottle.
just picks up a whole like the big bucket of Corona when something bad happens, and he just crushes it all. He's just like, it's like, ugh, ugh. Yeah. All right. Well, hypometer check before we go, Joe. 0 to 100, as we always do. Where are you on the Hobbs and Shaw train?
The fun, fuzzy feelings make me call it a 75, a 7.5.
All right, dude. Nice. You know what?
That ain't half bad, Jimmy.
That
Ain't
ain't
half
no,
bad.
that's balmy right there. I'm gonna say 80. I'm pretty stoked, man. Like
Damn!
which is really funny for anybody who's watching last week because I gave the Birds of Prey, like that Harley Quinn villainess movie, I gave it like a 20. So I am 4 times more excited for this than I am for Birds of Prey. So
Wow.
because I just am, man. Hobbs and Shaw, dude. Like I just like Statham. I really do.
I
I
do
think
too.
he's really good.
Yeah.
Go watch Italian Job, everybody.
I like the fact that he was a villain kind of twisted to the goodish side.
Yeah, the weird thing about when he's the main villain in like 7 is that like there's an entire other plot and he just shows up once in a while to shoot a bunch of stuff and then he goes
Yep.
away. And you're like, why
Yep.
did you got Jason freaking Statham. Don't give him a gun. Have him fight someone up close. He's so good. Like he's incredibly talented. It's like, ugh, you're killing me. Oh man, go watch the transporter fight scenes, guys. You don't have to watch the movies. Plots aren't great, but the fights are really good. Fights are good. And the driving's fun too. All right, Joe, we're moving on. We're moving on to something else here.
Not so
Something came.
fast, Jimmy.
What?
I'm just kidding.
Okay. It's like, I didn't want to stop you. I
You're
was
like, we're moving on. Not so fast.
I see this is a classic Hobbs and Shaw. It's a classic
Yeah, see?
Jimmy and Joe moment. Our names
I
don't.
don't know why I explain my jokes, my quips.
That's okay.
Ruins it when I do that.
Okay, you're like laying back like Baloo style right now. Just
A
like,
little bit, you know? Yeah.
as long as they can
The
hear you.
bare necessities, the simple bare necessities.
Quick side note: when Baloo scratches his back in the bare necessities, I was like, that's kind of fun. I bet bears don't do it to that extent. Been watching freaking Planet Earth 2 on Netflix, and
Bears
bears
scratch their backs, bro.
but like to a comical extent. Like
Yes.
they're like they're up and down the tree. Man, it's great
They're
fun to
not
watch.
dancing, but they're
Dude, they're
scratching.
dancing. They are straight dancing, dude. It like watch it. It is ridiculous how much they move. Like and the weird ways they do it too. Bears are so cool. Like I'm a fan of bears. I think bears are neat. Anyway, sorry
Polar
about
bears
that.
are scary.
They are scary. All bears are scary though.
They look the most. They're the most unassuming predator you'll ever see on planet Earth.
That's a really good point. Yeah,
Yeah,
'cause
they look so beautiful, majestic,
Yeah.
pure white, and kind of cuddly and fuzzy. And then they open their mouth, and it's like, ugh.
Yeah, it's kind of like in the ocean. That's what I'd say orcas are, where you're like, oh, so cute, and they're like,
They're the
what are they?
smartest killing machines underwater.
Yeah, those things are. I was watching Blue Planet too, and how they stun fish by doing backflips with their tails, and then they eat them.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
know.
bro. Yeah,
Crazy.
they eat stingrays, man. They've documented them killing great white sharks.
Damn, that's so
Yeah.
like. How
You know what they
badass.
eat on sharks? They eat the liver and leave them.
What I was gonna say is that a game came up out of nowhere, Apex Legends. Now we have to talk about this a little bit. If you don't know what Apex Legends is, it's the latest battle royale. It comes from the people Respawn who made Titanfall, Titanfall 2. These guys came over from Call of Duty Modern Warfare fame. Like these guys know how to make a game that feels good with a gun. Anyway, it came out. It was announced on Monday. It was released on Monday. The issue that we have, kind of, that they were having, apparently marketing wise, is that not only is it a battle royale game, which there's kind of getting more and more of, but EA is kind of overseeing it in a way, and it has loot boxes and stuff. So what I've been reading is that one of the reasons they didn't want to talk about it beforehand could have been a PR disaster, right? Like it's like EA's do battle royales, loot boxes, and Respawn's making it. And now they're not making Titanfall 3 because Titanfall 3 got turned into this game because this game is set in the Titanfall universe, just no Titans or pilots, at least in this game right now. Joe, all that being said, what do you think of this, man? You saw me stream it a little bit earlier today.
Here's what I think. First thing I think, They freaking gutted Titanfall 3 for this.
Maybe.
That's shameful.
Well, maybe not gutted, but it just transformed into this. Maybe
Yeah,
this was
but
going
you
to be
know
what
what that means is that they saw, oh wow, these battle royales. I mean, Fortnite was one thing. Oh, now Call of Duty's doing really well. We got to get on that map. And so they're like, boys, we got to change the plans. Everybody's on it 24/7 from now till release. Like, and they just freaking canned like the Titans and the pilots, the cool stuff that made Titanfall cool. And when they could have done a Titanfall game, had the multiplayer and everything, you don't need a campaign, and just do what Black Ops did and have Blackout and multiplayer.
Yeah.
Titanfall was unlike any other shooter in that you had the Titans and you had the cool multiplayer team deathmatch, domination, all that good stuff. If they would have done that and just added in that Blackout, battle royale mode, you would have had something. I'm not saying they don't have something right now with whatever this spinoff is, Apex Legends, but I feel like it's a shallow attempt.
Sure. Comparatively to like if it is Titanfall. See, if it came out of
Exactly.
nowhere and they didn't say like Titanfall 3 is not out of development, I think more people who love Titanfall like we do would be a little more understanding. It's like, okay, I get it. I
Yeah.
wonder if it's EA who said to do this, and then also because I know Respawn's working on a Star Wars game, and I don't know how big their group is. So I'm not sure if it was one of those things where they're like, all right, we need to put out something now and just work on Star Wars, but also support this
Yeah.
other thing. Maybe that's what it is. It's one of those like it's just like a kind of a
Yeah.
moneymaker, but the fact that they're charging nothing for it, I think also makes it like a little more appealing to me for someone who isn't really interested in battle royale at all. Because any cost, I would have been out. I would have been like, no. I'm like, nope, I don't care. I'm out. I
Yeah.
don't even want to pay $5 for this because that's just who I am. For you, Joe, if Titanfall 3 weren't off the table, would you still like want to pay for this game, or is it still something that you look at and you're like, okay, I
No,
tried
not
out this.
really. I mean, how many battle royales do I need? Unless it's
Sure.
insanely drastically different in some fashion. I'm just, eh, you know. I will say, I mean, from what I've seen of the game, I haven't played it personally myself yet. I plan to give it a shot. But from what I've seen thus far, and a lot of people who play Blackout have gone to this and they've been trying it out and playing for the past few days, and they seem to be enjoying it. From what I've seen thus far, it does look like it's well done. There are some features in there that they do that are they've put in that are different than other battle royales, Black Ops and Fortnite. Um, I don't even put PUBG on the list because why bother? But there are some things, some nuances that they put in there that seem nicer. First of all, Respawn Entertainment puts the respawn in the game, which is kind of a cool feature. Blackout did a certain game mode where you could do that, but it was different style altogether. But yeah, I know the gunplay seems pretty legit. The controls, everything. There are some special features you can do. It seems like a team build is more important, whereas Blackout, you're all the same. It's just based on your loot. So I kind of like that detail. I think it makes it more interesting. And I don't know what else. The world looks pretty interesting. The environment and everything. I like that. Quality wise, I think the quality's there. Wouldn't you say, graphically and everything?
Yeah, I'd say for the most part. To me, honestly, it felt like an evolution of like a first person battle royale. Just because I'm
Yeah,
playing a little bit of Blackout, like I did, it just felt like there were so many things that they had going for them right away here that I really enjoyed. And I know they added a ping system to Blackout, like you told me, but this ping system seems to be even more advanced than that, insofar as like I can ping a weapon for you. I can also ping an enemy and be like, oh, an enemy is over there.
yeah. So how
Uh,
does the enemy pinging work? Does it permanently mark them?
No, it doesn't. So basically, because that I was thinking about that, that'd be pretty cheap.
Yeah,
Basically what it does is I can at any time hit right bumper on Xbox, and I could say like, hey, and I could put just a random marker down. It just is random if I don't select anything. I'd be like, hey, there might be something good over here. But if I'm like pinging multiple times and the cursor goes over or the reticle goes over an actual person, it'll be like, oh, there's a hostile, and it'll show like a little target symbol, and
That's
you can do
cool.
that multiple times. So you're like, okay, and everyone's like right over
Yeah.
here. You can
Yeah,
target.
so instead of like blackout where you gotta specifically call it out and you're looking at your compass wheel like 350 over here west,
Yep, there's none of that.
instead you're tagging it. And essentially what they're doing, and I also hear when you were streaming it, I could hear the voice lines, and essentially they're making it so you can communicate without actually verbally communicating. Your character's doing it through your actions, through the speech, which is really cool.
It's
So
even better than that because it goes a step further. If someone like you ping something for me, Joe, and you're like, "Hey, there's some armor over here," and I go pick it up, it gives you a few seconds until you can hit down on the D-pad to say thank you to whoever, like in a voice
yeah, I
line.
like that.
And then it will also like once in a while, like one of your teammates will be like, they'll talk about stuff. They'll say like, "Oh, like, looks like our other person's down," or "It looks like it's just us now," or they'll say like, "Oh, 45 seconds till the ring's closing. We better get moving." Like there's constant like information and intel that's coming in, and it's so nice because then you don't have to worry as much about that other stuff because the characters are worried about it and voicing that concern for you. They're like, "Oh, watch out! Looks like there's a new kill leader somewhere around here," or something like that. It's just like there's always stuff coming in, and I
Yeah, I
really
like
like
that.
it. I'm like, it's
Would you
pretty
have
cool.
liked it more if it was if the characters were pilots, like wall running and all that?
Ah.
Like say you had the Titanfall 2 pilot loadouts with like the invisibility, the dual projection,
They do have a few of
the
those things, but they just don't have the wall
grapple.
running yet. I'm sure they'll have a character that has wall running at some point. There isn't a lot of like because of the map layout. There's not as many chances to wall run. Because remember, like when we played Titanfall, those maps had like a lot of buildings and
Yeah.
stuff. So they
Is it
have some of that.
yeah. Is it bad that I feel like the character design is what deters me most?
Well, I would say this. It kind of reminds me of Evolve a little bit. And I know you didn't like those
Yeah.
characters at first either. They're a little cartoony, but they have to stand out. Because I think that's one of Blackout's biggest problems is remember like in or I should just Call of Duty, they have all those like characters to pick from, like Nomad and stuff, but they
Yeah.
don't really stand out too much, right? And
Sure.
maybe that's what they're trying to do is like kind of overwatch it just a little bit. There's like one character I'm like, oh, I can see where you pulled inspiration from. Like, and it's totally
Roadhog.
fine. Not Roadhog. There's kind of the healer has like a big like little mech thing that follows her around, and it's just so like when she runs to the screen, it reminds me so much of May because it's like this little thing that kind of follows her, it's like
Oh,
woo, like around her. Not
yeah.
that robots have to be specific, but I think that's cool. I know it kind of gives you attachment, and I love the abilities. I think that is such a cool wrinkle to add on to it, and the mandatory
I agree.
three-person squads, like that is cool too. Like when you drop, like if you pick the zone, Joe, like I don't have to hit anything, and my character just follows you unless I want to break away, which is really cool. So you could all drop together, or you could all separate if you want to. Completely your choice, but it works better if you're in a group and you have your abilities that are kind of playing off each other, which I really
Yeah.
like. I like that Bloodhound guy who can kind of like scan an area and see if anybody like hostiles are nearby, and that pings for your team, Joe. It'll be like, oh, there's a person right over here. Like
Yeah.
it's like, oh, got him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's weird because when I think of I like my first person shooter, especially with one that looks as good as this, like the guns are pretty cool. Like in my mind, I'm like, I don't really want any skins for these guys. I mean, they're ugly to begin with, unless it's gonna totally change them. You know, I don't know. I don't know. I prefer like a maybe a little bit more badass character look. I don't
sure.
know. That's a stupid nitpicky thing. If the game plays good, they have really good features, it looks good, and everything works, and it you know plays the way it should. I mean, there should be no complaints. So I'm interested to try it out, see how it compares to said blackout.
Yeah. Well, is it okay? It's nitpicky, but at the same time, I agree and disagree. I disagree because first off, you can't really see your person when you're playing the game, but when
Yeah,
you're not playing the game and you're sitting in the lobby, which you do a lot, you do look at them. And there are a ton of different skins that you can randomly get or you can buy with real world money. The premium stuff so far it doesn't seem like we can purchase here in the states yet. I don't know why if there's something going on with that cuz I'm thinking like I don't know if it's an issue, if they had to take it down or whatever. So I'm thinking if you're going to launch your free to play game, wouldn't you want your like premium currency to be
yeah.
something people could buy like like right away? But like maybe I don't understand this. Maybe there's something else I don't get. But it just seemed weird to me. I was like unavailable, and I was like,
What
hmm.
is this? A freaking charity?
Yes. Respawn's like, we're so sorry. We didn't want to make a free to play game. EA forced us to, but we're not going to charge you anything for it. Like, it'd be like, how are you guys going to make money off this?
Or
Like just
not? Just
goodwill.
enjoy.
Yeah, just we love you. We're so sorry. Titanfall 3 is coming. I love those guys because I feel like there is some passion, and I think EA might have said like, "Hey, you're gonna like you need to focus on the battle royale mode," and they're probably like, fine. Maybe Titanfall 3 should be battle royale only. And EA's like, perfect.
Yeah.
Sounds good to us.
And everybody's like, God dang it, Chuck, you should shut your mouth.
Yeah, exactly. Like, why? Yeah, I'm excited to try it out with you. Like, I'm not a huge battle royale guy, as you know, Joe, but I this focus on team play, cooperation, communication, even when you're not talking to people. Most of the people I was working with, there's one group that revived me twice. They revived me twice. And they pinged stuff all the time. They're like, hey, you should come get this. This is armor that's better than your armor. And you can never pick up something, I guess, that is worse than what you have, which is really cool. You can't really like
Oh.
or it'll tell you, it'll be like, hey, you've got something better equipped already if you
But
pick this
like
up.
if your armor's damaged, you can pick up.
Yep, you can pick up like new stuff. Yep, it'll tell you. And it's all marked really clearly. There's not a lot like I still have to figure out the whole, equipping. It's always been weird to me like if you have a gun in a game and you pick up like a scope for it, it's like the scope only works with these 4 guns and you have it like in your backpack and you get the gun for it later and you have to like stop and be like, all right, put the scope on the gun for the one I want to use. But
One thing that I couldn't really determine when I was watching is can you definitively tell when you're like you walk into a room, other side of the room, you see something laying on the ground. Can you definitively tell what it is? Like, oh, that's a holo sight, or that's a sniper scope.
Yeah, because I haven't played it enough, I'm not sure. I could probably guess that the difference between a gun and a scope, but also the colors help too. Because like if I saw purple or blue, I was like, oh, I should probably get that thing because it's probably better than anything I've got with me right now. Usually,
Okay. Okay.
yeah. I don't think it's once you get in there, Joe. I think you'll be able to tell. I think it's pretty good about that. Also, sliding that's really fun. There's big slopes, and you can like slide all the way
I
down
saw
them.
that.
Yeah, like the movement feels good. The gunplay feels. It's just
Yeah.
Titanfall 2 that gunplay. It's back. I know there isn't the wall running. Double jumping isn't there, but everything else, man. Like
Yeah, I was watching you play and I was like, damn, Jimmy, turn up your sensitivity, man.
no, we've proven this. You like high sensitivity, and I still have a better KDR than you. So it's just
No, believe
fine.
it or not, I lowered my sensitivity lately. I've been playing with that, and I
What?
found that I really enjoy. Um, Sometimes, depending on how I'm feeling, I'll go 9 and 8 or 8 and 8. Horizontal is always a little faster than my vertical most of the time. So 9 and 8 is my preferred. Sometimes I'll slow it down to 8 and 8, which is just high.
I
But
thought you were talking about your KDR or something like that. Or
but
I
I'll
was like,
never go with the initial setting because the initial setting is never high, and I prefer high.
that is the way they intended you to play the game. No, I just don't like to mess with it because if I start to get it too high, I like shoot past a target. So I'm like,
Yeah, like when you fall asleep at the wheel and you overcorrect.
uh,
I've never done that. I mean, whatever. I don't know.
this is why
But
people wonder why I ask them to text me when they get home. They're like, Jimmy, you're not my dad. And I'm like, I want to make sure you're not dead in a ditch. Is that so
yeah,
mean? That's so mean.
yeah, that's a
That's
nice thing. That's a
I
nice thing.
try to be nice. Oh God.
No, that makes funny. I know you prefer it that way. Some
Yeah, that's okay. That's all right, man. We all have our different strokes for different folks. God, but yeah, I'm excited to have you try it out and to kind of get a better feel for all these operators because it is a little Overwatch-esque in your abilities, which I'm a fan of because I love having that stuff. That's another reason why I'm so psyched still about Anthem, which I'm sure we'll talk about a little bit later here. I just
Ooh.
like having a character that's different and has different special abilities. Destiny kind of tried to do it, but it wasn't enough. Like each of these characters, they play the same insofar as the gunplay, but your other abilities added on top of that really determine how you're gonna play. So I just think that's pretty cool. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty neat. Yeah, and I got a couple of kills, and I felt really good about it. And they have special finishers, Joe. If you down a person, you could do like a little special finisher where it kind of pulls the camera out, and you can see your person
I
do something
saw
cool.
that.
That's
That's
like,
pretty cool.
yeah, I'm so sure, Joe. It's like For Honor, where you could buy like special ones eventually. Like they'll have 20 for each character. They're like, oh my gosh, did you see friggin' Bloodhound's amazing
Oh,
new
no
finisher? Like,
doubt.
yeah, got to
No
make that
doubt.
money somehow. Got to make it somehow. But once again, for people who've heard all of this and you're like, all right, how much does it cost? Where can I play it? It is completely free. It's on Xbox One, PlayStation 4 at the
No,
stores.
yeah. For 3 easy payments, low payments of $29.99 a month to go Critical Reviews Patreon, you
There
can
we
play
go.
this magnificent game.
Yep, that's right. If you pay to our Patreon, no, don't. We're gonna
3
cease
easy payments of $29.99. You can play.
we're gonna get a cease and desist from Respawn, and it's gonna be great. They're gonna be
Yeah.
like, "Hey guys, we heard you're making money." No, yeah, weirdly, completely free, and then also on PC. I don't know if it's on Epic Game Store, which I wonder if it is, but I think it's on Steam, and you can just play it for free. Everything basically you can buy though, and when you level up, you get a loot box, just like Overwatch. And they tell you what comes in those loot boxes, but if you want to buy something specifically, it'll be real world money. Again, all cosmetic though. Uh, and the only reason I'm kind of championing this just a little bit is just because I love Respawn so much, and I don't want them to shutter because of stuff like this, where people are like, "Oh, EA forced you to do this." It's like it's still a good game, and it's
Yeah.
completely free. Like that's incredible from like an incredible developer. Like Respawn is like one of the best, if not the best, in the first person shooting realm in my eyes. And it's just like, give it a shot. If
It's
you don't like
very
it, it's fine.
Yeah, it's very unassuming because of the circumstances for the most
Yeah.
part. But I think the quality's there.
Yeah, I hope so. Because like it would be nice if this was good and Anthem was good and EA actually had a decent month where people didn't completely hate them. Because it's like it's not EA, it's Respawn and BioWare. Like these are these are the companies. It's like I care about them. I don't care about like terrifying over the top overlords. It's like I just want these companies to do well. Because like unless if EA doesn't have those guys, then what do they have? Oh god. Just gonna keep
Ooh.
making battlefields that don't do well. Apparently Battlefield 5 underperformed. What a shock. It's
Yeah,
like,
even though it's good,
yeah,
it's
I know. I wonder
pretty
why
good.
it is. Do you think it's just because people are like, eh, it's too
Uh,
tough. I'd rather play Call of Duty. I just want to play Call of Duty.
yeah, I don't know. I think the whole battle royale thing has got people on a hook, especially, it's good. Like Battlefield's
They have a
good
battle
because
royale.
the games are
Don't
big, they're long, there's a lot of
you?
people and a lot going on, and it feels like you're an open world almost, even in just one team deathmatch or domination, I guess you call it, or what did they call that mode? Conquest.
Conquest? Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty fun, and you know that the consequences aren't I'm out of this game if I die. You come back,
that's
right?
true.
Um, so there's a lot of fun to be had in that, but I feel like, and maybe it's a bad thing, but these battle royales, the stakes are so high that if you do get that reward at the end, it's like an ultimate, like, yeah, like wow, I did it, and that gets so hyped up on social media, YouTube streamers are doing it, because people think there's so much skill involved. A lot of it is luck and decision making. Yeah, there's some skill, granted, but yeah, I don't know. I think maybe the media has a lot to do with why there's success of something that's a little newer on the horizon, I guess. So
Yeah, I'm not sure
it
if their
somewhat
battle
makes sense.
royale came out yet or not. Because Battlefield 5, they announced that they were gonna do, I think, a battle royale. Because like,
Oh,
yeah,
they're
we're doing a
gonna.
royale. Yeah, I think they're
Yeah,
gonna do
see,
it.
I don't think that'll do as well. It's a little different.
I
It's a
think
different kind of
Yeah.
game.
Also, I think Battlefield 5 isn't as streamable because it's like you said, it's not as competitive. The problem is like you could be doing the best on the ground, but then a plane just crashes into you and you're like, "Well, what was I supposed to do there?" Like there's
Yeah.
nothing you could do, right? You're just like, "Dang it." Like
Battlefield's just a little weird. It's so real that it's not like
it's
it.
cool.
See,
I want
that's a game where it's like I'm not going to turn my sensitivity to like super high because
Yeah,
it's
be
not a Twitch shooter. It's like a methodical, and like sniping is a big deal, and you're not running from corner to corner just gunning people down. I mean, it's realistic, and you got to think about every move you make. And I don't know if it'd perform well like Call of Duty or this new Apex Legends performs. So I don't
Yep.
know.
All I know is that even in Battlefield 5 and that beta or whatever, people still play it like that because I saw like a squad of 3 or 4. I remember telling you this, Joe, or maybe you even saw it. I just went like prone on the ground and like they all ran over me. And I was just like,
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, and I stuck it behind him like, I will get him. I was like, I'm so sneaky.
I'm
Like I
gonna
was like
download
real
that
war.
game though. Battlefield 5 review coming soon.
That'd be great. Yeah, man. Give us I'm sure it's great. And you know what? Someone said this to me recently. I think it might have been Missile Mage. You know what? It's never too late for a review. Reviews actually even get better with time because if we review something a little bit later, it's probably the better version of the game. A lot of
Yeah,
people are like worried about getting in games. I'm like, if you're worried about getting into like a games as a service game, wait a couple of months. If you want to hop into Monster Hunter World right now, it's the best time to do so. Like people are like, I haven't played it. I didn't play last year. I'm like, hop in now. You'll have so much to do. You'll be like, oh my god, there's so many monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm excited to try more of Apex with you and Drew. Hopefully, maybe have some kind of squad stuff, and then it'll get to a point, Joe, where hopefully you'll see things in Blackout you wish were in Apex, and then you'll see things in Apex that you wish were in Blackout. Like you'll be like, oh, if they could do this, it'd be the perfect battle royale game. Like we're getting so close to being like, it's right there, you know. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I love the communication. I really like the pinging system. I think that's really cool. Even with people I didn't talk to, I felt like I was on a team with them, and they were
Yeah,
trying to help
during
me.
your stream, I was like, what you got a group of new friends or something?
Oh, Joe, I'd never replace your laddie. If I can, I just have to find other games to entice you out of the Blackout. So like you're like a bear in a den, and I'm like putting like a fish there. I'm like, this is Apex, and then I put Anthem. You're like,
Well, Anthem's a big enough fish. It's like a big old king salmon that was swimming upriver, and you got it. That
someone said
one,
like, is there gonna be a
Anthem
battle
will get
royale for
me.
Anthem? I hope
Yeah.
so.
The only problem with Anthem over the weekend, it's like when you play that VIP demo and then you're playing the beta, it's just like, yeah, okay, I've done it enough times now that I'm starting to get to the point where I need another hit of something good. This doesn't have enough strength for me to get me high anymore.
Yeah. Well, like, let's talk about that for just a second. I don't know if Levi will still want to talk about this or not, but that's assuming he actually shows up. So Anthem did something on Sunday, Joe. I don't know. You saw like a picture of it probably too, but they did like a world event. So kind of like Fortnite does from time to time, where stuff just happens, and MMOs have done this, where they had this like Ash Titans spawning in the free play. So it's like there's
Look,
that. But for us, you're right, because like there wasn't any new missions. We could just replay the stronghold basically, and that was
yeah.
it for us, which kind of sucked. However, I told Drew, we were talking about this. I was like, I get why they didn't do it because I think there's only gonna be 3 of those strongholds at launch, and I think they were really concerned about putting out a second one of those strongholds for people to just play through like crazy on that weekend. And then when the full game release, it'd be like, wait, 2/3 of your like kind of big stuff is already done. You know, like you'd be like, well, I already played this. So I think that's why they didn't give like anything new to the people who played that VIP demo. There's like,
Yeah, but that's nerve-wracking. I'm really wondering how much content there will be in this game.
that is the question. So they just talked about this. So there's going to be those 3 strongholds, free play, legendary contact or contracts, which are like tempered monster hunts, Joe. You know, where you can do multiple
Okay,
times.
well, that's cool. I'm glad they have that.
Yep.
All right.
And they talked about they're going to have a big raid, but it's not going to be at launch. It sounds like it's going to be a little bit down the line. I just wonder if it got to a point where they have all this stuff and they're like, we're not going to be ready by February, and EA was like, "You better have something ready by February because we're going forward with this." And they're like, because like in May, this game might be like the full game of Anthem that they wanted to launch with, because it seems like that's kind of the concern right now. Because they said they still have their full story, like those missions that you can play with your friends, and there's that full campaign, but then there's also multiple levels of that Grandmaster tier stuff, again, like Tempered Monsters and stuff, where you can replay stuff, but it's gonna be harder and harder. And that's kind of the hope that they want for you, is that you're playing it again and again to get better gear to go to the higher, like Grandmaster 1, 2, and 3,
Oh,
and then take on, you know, the strongholds at those levels and all that other end game stuff too. The question is truly, Joe, how long is the story? How long will that story, that single player co-op, you know, story be? How many missions are there? I don't know. I really
part of
don't.
me is not insanely worried about it. The
Yeah, I know
story itself.
some people are so worried about it, and I really want to make a full video on this. Like what like people you're like, "Oh, is it worth it? Is there enough content there?" People don't have to buy Anthem day 1. You can wait. It's okay. Don't let the zeitgeist, you know, grip you, I would say. I would say if you want to wait, then wait for the reviews, wait for, you know, us to talk to you about it, because we're not getting paid by EA or anything like that. So we can tell you like it is. At the same time, like if you bought it like we did, it just gives me reasons to come back to it later. It's like Monster Hunter. Like I keep going back to it because they're just like, hey, here's a new thing, here's a new monster to hunt for free. And I'm like, great, because they know you put money into it and they want to reward you for that. The millions of copies that are sold. So hopefully Anthem will do something similar. I don't know if it's gonna sell. I don't know how many copies that game's gonna sell, but I hope it's good, and I hope it's a lot of fun, because it seems like fun. Because we were playing this weekend, Joe. We had some good moments. We had
Yeah,
some.
we really did. I got to put it like this. The customization, the aesthetics is a blast. You can get sucked into that for half an hour alone, just making all your loadouts what you want them. Probably even longer. And it's satisfying. You're like, guys, look at my character. Look at what I did. What do you think? What do you think? And if somebody says, it's all right, it really stings you, Jimmy. But anywho, that's great. I think there's going to be more modifications to the suits that you can do as far as the actual physical look of them, and not just paint jobs or material. We're talking like different shoulder loadouts, or your leg loadout looks different, or you got a different helmet. I'm hoping that stuff is all, I don't want to say endless, but close to. I just hope there's a few more options for it. Right?
I think there will be. So
that's going to be entertaining. The free pit. Here's the thing: the most significant thing that got me is the first during the VIP demo. Granted, it was a little fresher. That night, I went to bed after playing a little bit of it, and I kind of woke up thinking, man, I kind of really want to play that game. And the only thing I was thinking about is I don't even care what that big mission is. I just want to do the double jump and the control, just that feeling of like that. It's like Iron Man. It's what we've all wanted forever since 2000. What is it, 8?
8, yeah, very good. Yeah.
Dude, that double jump, and when he goes into his jet burst to fly, is just like, yeah. And I love running the Colossus, and when I go from flying or falling to hover, he does that sound that he makes because he's heavy, So when he does his hover jets, it's like a whine of a turbo. It's just like, and and then when I slam on the ground, the controls are legit. There's weight to everything you do. It feels good. The only thing that needs more weight is when you kill a monster, I want it to actually like look like it's dying instead of just like fizzle.
Yeah, I know. It's like I don't know if it's like an engine thing, or they're like, all right, get rid of that body quick. Like,
no, I mean, I don't mind. Like when it dies, I know it's going to disappear. I get that. But when it dies, I want it to do something more than just like stop.
Yeah.
Like in Monster Hunter, it does like a big rear up, like, and it falls over. I don't need it to be quite that dramatic. I don't want it to go like to a cut scene where
I wanted that for every little guy. They're like, it's like shooting the camera around.
Not necessarily that, but some of those big guys, like there's that big like ape thingy that you fight.
Oh yeah, the Ursix.
Yeah, that thing. Maybe more lizardy than ape. Maybe
like a big lizard bear
between the two.
Yeah.
It's a lizard ape.
A lape.
A lape. A liz ape. There we go. Now we got it.
Got it. Nailed it.
Like that thing. When you kill that thing, it's got a large health pool. I want that thing to like and collapse. I don't want it to just no noise, no nothing. You're just like, oh, it died, and you're still shooting it. I don't know how many times I'm still doing my final move set on it. It already died.
Yeah, you're like, I want to go carve that thing. You're like, I want to get some stuff. Why do they all have health and ammo? I get it's a gameplay mechanic, and they're like, they're like, do you want to go out there with limited ammo? And you're like fighting these things with huge health pools. You're like, dudes, I only brought 56 shells. They're like, I don't know what to tell you, man. I'm out of bullets. Use your abilities. Think of your abilities. I keep thinking about this. I'm just happy the abilities are infinite. If they have cooldowns, like how horrible it would be if you're a Storm. They're like, you get 20 lightning strikes. Use them well.
You'd be screwed. I think I used almost 100 on that spider thing.
Oh, for sure. Oh, yeah. You got to calm down. And Joe, I ran the Stronghold by myself one last time on Sunday with a Colossus. And I don't want to say I carried him, Joe, but I carried him. The whole team went down once or twice, and I still managed to save them all. Felt pretty good. And I was using the flamethrower. And I got to say, man, it makes sense because I was using the flamethrower on like the regular like Scar dudes with the shields. Wasn't that, it was like, okay, it was all right. Because you could like flamethrower them once the shield is gone. You could like combo with your melee. But man, that thing tears through the bugs. Like, and it makes so much sense that it does, but like, it feels so good. It's like,
yeah. That was the only time I liked using it is when you got the bugs. And I think the one time I ran it in the Stronghold, it was when it glitched out and the bugs never showed up.
Oh no,
so I was like sitting there waiting to run the flamethrower, and it's like, okay, Well, I brought it. They were too scared to show up, so.
I had a Storm who kept using his ice, and I would try to throw the mortar, and I tweeted at Ben Irving, one of the guys, like one of the heads of the game, and I was like, the mortar took a little while, like you have to hold left bumper, and then it'd be like, and then it would kind of aim. I was like, I wish that was faster. I was like, because sometimes the combo, you don't have a lot of time to like get the combo off. You're like, I want to shoot this thing. I want to shoot it right now.
I didn't really ever have much of a problem with that.
I don't. It just seemed to take a second to like get into position for me. Maybe it was just on my controller or something. But I was just like, hey, I just want to make sure it's snappy because I want to.
Sometimes I had an issue where the actual like aiming module wouldn't show up, and I would just like, well, it's not working, and I would just let the LB go.
That's what
I
did.
It would
too.
fire off, and I think it hit something at least, but that wasn't what I was aiming for.
Maybe that's it. I want the aiming thing to come up faster because when I would do it, it wouldn't show up right away. It'd be like another second, and then the ice would be off all of them. And I'm like, I want to do this because it feels good, A, and B, it's amazing to freeze like even more things because or you just do the explosion to everything in that area, not the ice, but just like it does damage to all. Oh man, ooh, man.
But
Levi,
I like the aiming mechanic.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Levi, you're here now, aren't you? Hi, Levi.
What are we talking about? Anthem?
Yes, well, because I know you want to talk about it a little bit.
Yes, by Good Charlotte.
No, we're not. No, we gotta stop.
I didn't realize that I'd be more disappointed than Aquaman in something. So let's get into this.
Did you like playing the game?
You know, it felt okay. Control seemed fine. The flying felt good. I'll give it that. But it feels very Destiny. Feels very Destiny light, almost.
What? Continue.
Yeah, it looks really good. Listen, I'm gonna give credit where credit's due. This game looks fantastic. And then on Xbox One X, it probably looks amazing. And with the final code, it probably looks even better. But we're not getting what we were shown at E3, like in 2017. We're not getting that, the high fidelity that they promised.
Well, I don't know. We don't have.
If you put a comparison, yeah, but if you put the comparison of like the trailer they did from E3 2017 with the hub, and then you compare it to what you go through now, you got some work to do.
Sure. Well, also they're probably running out on PC for that.
Yeah.
Which, if we were running on a high end PC, I'm sure it would look and play a lot better. If you like watch videos on people who are doing a PC, they say it looks substantially better. Which is like we're topping out on our consoles. That's why we got to get some new ones, right? Like, got to get the next step.
Well, yes, the new Xbox coming. For crying out loud, I can't wait forever.
I know dude. It's this. They're talking about it this year. Well, Levi, I know that you're texting me or messaging me like when you're playing it. You're like, man, we got to talk about Anthem. Like, was there something that really stood out to you? Because you say Destiny light, but to me it seems like more than Destiny, like in mechanically speaking, like
mechanically speaking, yeah, it just feels, but it feels very Destiny like. The monsters, the setting, the the space, and
yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, it just feels a little bit that way. I don't know, and the biggest thing is I feel like it's hard to even put it into words. Like, my mind when I was playing the game, I was like, this is fun. This is fine, but it's nothing like, it's not living up to the hype for me from the demo. A little bit of afraid of like what they're really going to flesh out with the game and how much you're going to really be able to do. Because it didn't seem like
everybody's concerned. We all share it.
We're all worried.
Sorry to interrupt you, but that's like everybody ever who's touched the game has said the same thing.
This doesn't look like a Halo killer to me.
Somebody say it was, and is there any such thing? Like, it's like when people say it's a WoW killer nowadays.
Every time there's a new game, they're like, "This is a Halo killer." It's like, well, Halo's been dead for a while. But...
Yeah, I just don't. Anyone who says anything is a killer of a game, I'm like, no. People just migrate. We're just like, we like a thing for a bit, and then we just move on to the next thing, like a lot of people do.
I'm sorry, I stepped away for a second, but Levi, did you talk at all about like, how did it feel to you when you hopped in the Javelin and you went into free roam and you were, you do that jump, the fly, or when you land? I mean, the controls, the weight of it, the way it feels. What did you think?
Flying felt good. I didn't know how to fly for the first 45 minutes until I figured you had to like press in and then you flew. I don't know. It just feels very Destiny-like for me. Like the same kind of cooldowns, the same kind of style, which isn't a bad thing. I like
the same kind of sounds.
I mean, yeah.
I'm looking at you, crystals in the chest.
This seems huge. Like this game looks like it's supposed to be like this huge thing, and it just feels almost like it's a little bit falling short of like it's pretty and it looks like a really cool engine, but it feels like, is there enough to put in that engine? Is there enough to put in this world?
All right, so we take a step back. Jimmy, what do we think? They probably shouldn't have even done a demo or a beta.
So here's the reason why I think they did it. There was people have talked about this, but in the past few years, people have done studies about saying that demos actually make it so that games sell like less because people play it and then they're like, all right, cool, I tried it, not really for me. But I think they did this because they wanted to garner a lot of information, and they do plan on continuing this because this is like the first showing of it to say like, hey, we're committed to this. Even if we lose people, we can at least say like we started day one before anyone had to pay for it, and then we can learn from that and go off an older build of the game and try to do it. I think you make a good point though, Joe. I'm sure there are a lot of people who would have bought it without without having tried it. But
that's an example.
Yeah, and you wouldn't want a bunch of people who got it and they're angry and they're like, this game sucks. I can't believe I paid $60 for this. I wish I would have been able to try it beforehand. Yeah, I was trying to think.
But so they've gone and maybe they've lost some players, but they garnered so much information, figured out all their bugs because it's a complicated game. They've gotten all that information. They're going to fine-tune it for launch. And so the people that are thinking, I liked it, I'll still get it, or the people that are like, yeah, I loved it, I'm getting it, those people are going to be so much happier, spend money in game, etc., pays for it in dividends. Who cares if they lost a few thousand, right?
Yep, and that word of mouth will be better because like we're seeing games like Sea of Thieves and like the original Division come back into the forefront because they supported the game.
This almost looks like like a commercial and an ad for an engine, to be honest. Like it looks more of like a showcase for what they're capable of now, and that's fine. Like the fidelity thing I brought up, that's fine. I can forgive that until I actually play it on Xbox One X. I can forgive that until once I see the final code. It's not the final code right now, it's just a demo. I can forgive that. What I can't kind of get into right now is just how empty I felt playing the game.
I think two things with that, Levi, like because Joe and I were feeling that a little bit. Joe, I don't want to completely speak for you, but like when you're playing free play over this past weekend and we're kind of done with everything, we're just kind of standing there with like, there's not much in the world. But like when you're in the stronghold, Levi, I don't know, did you do the stronghold?
I did not do the stronghold. No.
That is where I think the game sings, and I think if you have friends, that is where I've had the most fun because it's so like we're working together and like we might have to respawn, but Joe like one time was like, all right guys, let's flank, let's all focus on the left side here. We're taking out these two turrets first, and we like moved around as a group. And it worked out super well. Yep. And there was a lot of times when like Joe and I were comboing, like I was throwing out a bunch of ice and Joe would hit them all with like rail cannon and just blow them all up. And it was like, nice, dude. Like, and that's where I feel like it's better than Destiny. Cause trying to think, Destiny, you had your grenade, your ultimate, and then like one other ability typically, like the Titan, like guy had his like shield. I don't remember what the Warlock and the Hunter had. They had like didn't they have something else? Did you have like three things? I don't remember. There just wasn't as many. This game, I feel like you've got the two guns and then like three other things on top of that, right? You got your two guns, your two abilities, and then
I just thought of three cooldowns. Maybe I didn't play the right character, but
maybe not. Maybe they have roughly the same amount of things. I just felt like the guns, I didn't even like with the storm. I barely used my guns. I was like,
yeah, I'm using lightning and ice. And they're not as powerful as what you're using on them, and what you're doing with your other two abilities are helping the rest of the team with combat.
I totally got like, especially like at that beginning moment with like the monsters and stuff, I totally got like a evolved feel from it,
dude. Yeah,
and which isn't a bad thing. You know what? I'll get the game because you guys are gonna get it. We'll have fun together. I'm just worried about how much fun we can have in this game together, because what was cool about Monster Hunter, and I hate to keep going back to that game, but I always will for a while.
I don't. I love to go back to it.
The thing with Monster Hunter is like we did like the beginning part. We were like, oh shit! Now we unlocked like what are they called?
The tempered monsters.
The tempered monsters, and like there's a whole new set, and like what? And it's just like I loved that kind of reveal through a game because you're like, once you think like, oh, I put 25 hours in, I'm done. No, baby, you're not.
Yep.
So
And I was telling Joe that they kind of released some information about what the end game is going to be. There's like a 5-minute trailer on there because I think they released it just to tell people, because people are like, what's the end game? And they're like, all right, guys, everybody calm down. Because like usually when we play most of these games, Monster Hunter, maybe they had a trailer for stuff like that. They're like, don't worry, there'll be tempered monsters. They've got these legendary contracts that are replayable, Levi, which reminds me kind of like tempered monsters. Where like, oh, I just hunt that tempered monster like again and again for better. It's all just for loot, right?
But the monsters didn't seem like the monsters didn't make me care enough to rehunt them though. You know, like when you were killing these things and like these bosses, it didn't make me feel like, oh, I want to go back and do that.
In Anthem, you mean?
In Anthem, yeah.
Okay, cool. Because I was like, yeah, that.
In Monster Hunter, it's like it's got the monster you're fighting has an identity, and
and it's different every time.
Yep,
that's the great thing about it. Because like when you fight the big spider lady at the end of Tyrant Mine, Joe, like we've done a few times, it's like you know what to expect with that. Like she goes away when she takes enough damage. You have to fight the little ads, and that's not like their fault because they never said like the game was going to be like always different with these types of
things. But
here's
the thing, a big monster is great. Yeah, it does the same thing every time. Big monster is great, but the little guys sometimes are the fun part.
Yeah, the Colossus, especially when I was playing and I had to be on the ground with those things, that they come up and just start ripping your health away and you're like, freaking get off of me. Like
I'm just like shield up and boom, right through them.
Just crush them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, Levi, you make a good point. It does have that evolved sensation kind of originally, but I really think that once you get in and you play with us, and it sucks that it has to be group dependent, and I still think you could enjoy this game on a single player level, but when you get into strongholds, they force you to play with 4 people altogether. So you're going to be with other people regardless.
Listen, and I'll have fun. I'll have fun doing it. I just was sounds selfish, but I was expecting something groundbreaking, something earth-shattering, something to mix up the genre, like the next Monster Hunter or the next Halo, the next, new IP that I really just wanted it to break the mold. And maybe I should stop asking for that because
it's hard.
Everything's been done. Like, that's why Disney remakes everything,
It's like, think of something it's like right now, think of an original movie that would perform as well as like a Jurassic Park. It's tough. That's why there aren't many original movies, and ones that are original are pretty lackluster at lane sometimes. But like groundbreaking, earth-shattering, no, it is not. But impactful and good feeling and different, yes, it is.
I think,
it's like calling your Titan in from Titanfall, only that's you all the time, which is what we've all wanted all along. It's kind of like that feeling, but I like the vibe to it. It's different than I like that it's third person.
Yeah,
you're constantly enjoying the aesthetic of your character.
Makes you care.
And the mobility of it is so much different than any other shooter I've played. I really enjoy that.
I think what the coolest part about it to me is the verticality and the ability to fly.
Yeah.
And I think using that in combat, if you have a really good Colossus on your team who knows when to use his taunt and stuff, it'll make you have the option to do it, because if you do that any other time, you're just like a flying target. But if you can like fly up and around a group and do some of your ultimates or your other ability from behind where they aren't shielded, like on those big guys, like that's such a cool twist to gameplay that we had never had before. Because most shooters, it's like, all right, you're going down the hallway and you have to get through them. You have to muscle your way through or throw a grenade just perfectly. Now you're like, no, I can just fly around and go up above you and shoot down on you. Like that's insane.
Yeah,
like,
it totally
that really
changes your strategic thinking and planning.
Yeah, that's why I think it's just, I'm so excited. But again, it's because of you guys and getting to play with you and combo with you. And I was like, maybe I'm not going to like the storm, but I forget. After playing Colossus, Joe, and trying to hover for more than like 5 seconds, because that's as long as I can hover basically, because it's just like their heat beaters like that. Yeah. Like the storm's like, I'm up here forever. I'm just like casting stuff. I'm like,
yeah, he's almost a little OP, because there were times where it's like, especially with the big spider, I was like, okay, so the only time I have to dodge is when it looks at me and spits its stuff.
With that specific fight, for sure. And I think that might be the first stronghold, because it seems like most of the other big guys are going to be like more like projectile focused. So, but for that fight, you're just like up there. It's like, Not a
I've seen
problem.
a lot of people say too that there was only really one javelin out of the 3 that was the most fun to play. Did you guys feel that way? Did you play it?
No,
No.
I played all of them. The Ranger's fun in his own right, but he is very standard. The Storm and the Colossus are top.
I think it was the
notch.
Storm they were talking about. Like it was a Storm. People kept saying that was like the most fun, and
Yeah, everybody liked him, but the
I get that.
Colossus is different and fun because of his more. It's oh my god, it's just like freaking Hobbs and Shaw, man. You got
Dude.
that tactful kind of like eloquent one, and then you got the like, oh man, I'm gonna get in there, I'm gonna eat my coffee grounds, and then I'm gonna punch them in the teeth.
Yeah, I thought the Interceptor was going to pull ahead for most people. I thought people were going to be like, I love the Interceptor. It's like super fast.
And some
and,
people do.
melee.
Drew still fell back to the Interceptor and loved it.
That's because who
Yeah.
Drew is. Like he
Yeah.
loves like Genji, and like that is perfect for him. But I agree with you, Joe. The Storm and Colossus, like completely different play styles. The Colossus I had a freaking ball with because like you get to that point where you're like, you know what, screw this, and you bring out your big cannon and you just like shoot those big 3 shells, and you're like, I'm gonna save the team. He's like,
Yeah.
boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, exactly. It makes you feel like a boss.
Yeah, you're just like,
And-
take that.
And it's really gratifying to do that. And what he lacks for in flashiness and speed and like technical abilities, that brute force makes you feel like an absolute unit.
Yep.
You
Yeah,
know,
it feels good.
like
Especially
look at
with-
my triceps, bro.
It's like when
You
they try to
just run
snipe
in
you.
there.
If you throw up like the shield at the right second when someone tries to snipe you, either block it
Oh.
or they miss, and you can do that when they're like at point blank range, and it's so funny because they're like, "Whew," and he's like,
Every time.
then you walk up to him, just
Yeah, and your melee, when you hit, even if you ground slam underneath them, they fall because it's so impactful. I love that.
yeah, he's fun to play. I don't know. So Levi, you played mostly just the Ranger, right? You didn't get to really get
Yeah.
into the other ones. Okay,
yeah,
that's where maybe because like that's the problem. You played by yourself, and you only got to play that one javelin, like the kind of the most basic, and you also didn't know how to fly for a while too.
yeah.
So maybe when you get the chance to,
I'm not
hop
worried
into
about any of
something.
that. I feel like that's going to be just fine for me.
Yeah,
That's not what I'm worried about.
Yeah.
I'm worried about content. And
Yeah.
is this going to be worth a $60 game for a beautiful engine demo, or?
I think it will be. I mean, think of how many hours do you think we'll get out of it? Not as much as Monster Hunter, obviously.
No, it's more about the replayability, right? Because like,
Yeah.
the controls feel good, and we're willing to play the same things again and again. Because Joe, you and I played that Stronghold like a bunch, and you're like, "Do you want to jump back in and do it again?" And I was like, "I kind of do," even though I know exactly how it's
I
going to
kind of
play
wanted
out.
to like time it,
Yeah, I was like, I'm
race
having
it.
fun with this. Like, I just enjoy
Yeah.
playing it. And you're right, it's not going to be as much as Monster Hunter, but the question is, how much are they going to give throughout the year to kind of be like, "Hey, come back, new Stronghold." New events.
That's
are
the
coming.
thing. Here's the thing. If everybody kind of throws their concerns to the side, invests in it, and enjoys it for what it is to start, if we support it, hopefully they'll do the same because we did that.
Yeah.
It gives them incentive to support it, and it'll make it more worth our while, right? So
That's
that's
the
how
hope.
I'm approaching it.
The problem is we're really entitled as gamers, right? I hate that term, by the way, gamers. Video game enthusiasts, we demand this much, and if it doesn't have this much, it's not worth my time. And I totally get that. I get it. But there are humans on the other end of this too. And I'm not saying they're doing this for charity. It's all a cash grab. But Joe's right. If this is something you're interested in and you want there to be more, and they've said there's going to be more, then if you get it earlier on, you probably will feel better about it over time. Maybe in the beginning, like with Destiny, when we picked it up, like Destiny 2, I still thought it was fun and it was probably worth roughly the price that we paid for it. But I wasn't like pissed that there wasn't like enough content. I will say the raid pissed me off because it was like, I know, I'm sorry, Fragan is probably listening to this right now. He's a big Destiny guy, but that raid made no sense. Like, if the raid in Anthem does the same thing where they're introducing like new mechanics and they don't tell you how to do anything, I don't want to look this up online. I'm so sick of this. I don't like looking up stuff for
I don't
lore
want
or
it
how to
be
play
too
a game.
puzzly.
Yeah, it's like I get
Did
for
they
an
do
older
that?
game. Yeah, so like what Fragan was telling me is that for the raid, they released it originally for Destiny 2, and they kind of made it like opaque or kind of confusing on purpose, so that way people, like, you had to figure it out, like the whole community had to figure it out, and then you'd have to look up online how people did it. And I was like, no, like, I don't want to have to be like, I have to carry this orb and I have to shoot the laser at the dog in the poison room. I'm like, what? Like, no, don't make
Oh,
it
it's
raid
like, did Anthem do this?
Anthem, no. Anthem is
Oh,
going to
okay.
have a raid coming up. Like, it's not going to be at launch. I would rather have it be like a 2-time stronghold. I'd rather, because like the strongholds are maybe like 30 minutes to 45 minutes roughly, Joe, wouldn't you say? Like that one we were doing, maybe a little
30
less.
minutes.
Yeah.
20.
And I'm kind of hoping the raid is like just crazy. Like I hope it's just like an hour long. It's just like, yeah, if you want to do the raid, there's a lot of loot and stuff, but it takes a while, and you got to have a good team.
Invest.
Yeah, you got to invest, and you got to have a team that you're excited about. And I'm excited about this game, and like you guys said, it's a new IP. It's like Inception. All right, Inception's one of the only blockbuster films that was like a brand new IP. It wasn't a sequel or anything like that, and it's still like really good. And I'm not saying Anthem's going to be Inception. It's just that people always just want sequels and remakes and all this stuff, and people are so quick to judge a brand new IP and be like, this sucks, and it's not like this. It should be like, Dad, why does BioWare make Dragon Age? It's like they're still gonna make it. Everybody, it's coming. All right, don't worry about it. Let's just see how this goes first. If it's a complete dumpster fire, then guess what? It'll go away. But maybe it'll be good. Maybe. And also, I'd rather play it over Division 2 because it's very different. Like, just personally, I'm like, yeah, I'm just, I don't know. Like, yeah, if I'm gonna play a looter shooter, as they call it, I want it to be on a mech suit. I don't want it to be like my new beanie. Like that's not the loot I'm fighting for. Like, it's like, oh, you picked up some new socks. Like it'd be like, like I want my Colossus to have like a big cape or something. Like I want it to be dumb. Like going through like oh my dude, please Anthem capes for me. Anyway, let's move on. Quick thing, Levi, Hobbs and Shaw trailer, hypometer. How do you feel? Did you see it?
Jesus Christ. How much testosterone can you shove into one trailer? I don't know. Fast and the Furious is getting really weird real quick.
Yeah.
I don't know how to. There's no hype for it.
we just need. So it's 0?
No, it's not a 0. Like it looks entertaining. Like a 5.
Okay. Like
what did you guys give it?
Joe gave it a 75.
Okay.
And I gave it an 80.
Not for quality, for entertainment.
Yeah, for entertainment.
For entertainment, I will agree. Yes, because
overall, I think the quality might still be there to some degree because there's money in this movie. It might not look good. Like some of the CG is like, I know the Rock's not falling off a building.
What's her name? Not in it anymore. She dead. The one chick from Resident Evil, Dom's
Mila Jovovich.
Nope. No. The other one. What's her name? Lead lady. She's been in like a ton of them.
Letty.
Yes, Letty. Is she dead?
No, they thought she was dead, but she came back to life. She's not going to be in this one. They might cameo some of these guys, but it's not going to be Vin Diesel, I don't think.
Is this like another Tokyo Drift?
No, I don't think. It's just completely separate. And I guess Dwayne Johnson's not going to be in Fast 9. So
okay.
They're doing their own things. They're making their own MCU, the Fast and Furious universe, baby. FFU, man.
I don't think I need it in my life, but that's okay.
I need it in my life. Give me that Kurt Russell Mr. Nobody spinoff where he's just writing like on papers on a desk and he's just going around being weird people.
Agents of Nobody.
Dude, that's a sick name, dude. Agents of Nobody. Oh my god. Okay, sorry, I love it so much. All right, it's time to move to that segment of the show that Alex call, Joe likes to call, Levi likes to call. Somebody hit me with it.
Levi likes to call.
Timekillers.
That's right. It's
Timekillers.
Perfect. We'll put the timestamp in there because that definitely didn't terrify me. It's the games we've been playing, movies we've been watching, TV shows we've been viewing. Levi, because you just got here a little while ago, what you been killing time with, buddy?
Okay, I have been sinking my teeth into this beautiful new album from Bring Me the Horizon. Holy shit. Joe, we need to talk about this. This album is crazy.
Little EDM-ish type stuff mixed in with some of their original style, but not quite. It's very artistic is how I describe it. And it takes a few listens to get you like hooked on it, but after that you're hooked. Yeah,
because the first time I listened to it, I was like, man, Mantra's good. Wonderful Life is good.
Mantra was like their original. That's why they released that one first.
And then I listened to it and I was like, wow, these are really different. Like the electronic pieces and the more of like the interludes and stuff. And I was like, this is really different. But then the more you listen to it, like you really get pulled in and it's interesting. Like that's what I think I like most about it is it's different. There's so much hate on this album right now. These kids are getting so butthurt about this album. It's hilarious. Listen, if you want to hear deathcore, go back and listen to Bring Me Horizon's first like 2 albums. Okay. I personally can't stand deathcore anymore. Like I liked that version of Bring Me Horizon back in 2008 when I was 17, 18, and
Yeah.
I went and saw them in 2008, and like that was cool back then, and I liked that. I don't like that anymore. That's not me.
Your taste has become more sophisticated.
Not even sophisticated. Like I can still go back and rock out to some old Bring Me Horizon, but this it just feels fresh. It just feels new. A lot of people are really like, oh, it's a pop album, and it's like, shut the fuck up. Like there's still some guitars on here that rip hard. Mm-hmm. There's still some drums on here that hit you in the face.
Dude, I think it's just more artistic. It almost isn't. It's almost its own genre. Like some of it's got that like EDM trancey type stuff to it, but then they mix in a little bit of that guitar riff, and comes back to rock.
Well, and I loved it that when they brought Danny Filth in from Cradle of Filth, one of the heaviest bands of all time, heavily prominent on Viva La Bam, like just nuts. But it's a banger, that's for sure. Like, and I think I'm gonna really appreciate this because I know they started this style with "That's the Spirit," which made me nervous at first. I was like, well, we got cheerleading chants with this song, but that album grew on me too.
Have you ever listened to the orchestra that the live performance at Albert Hall? Dude, look that up on YouTube. You can listen to that playlist forever. It's so cool. Like it's with an orchestra and like vocalists behind them and everything. Yeah, it's insane.
I mean, it's just really awesome to see a band grow from that like just like only death screaming to like
Sempiternal was probably my favorite album from them, but heavy metal. Yeah, I don't want to say it's my favorite song on this album, but it is really good.
Kids are so mad because they're like, this isn't heavy metal, and it's like that's not the point. That's the point.
That song is like a sarcastic call out to what does he say?
This kid's on the ground wearing a black t-shirt saying this isn't heavy metal. Yeah.
I love it.
No, James, you need to check this album out.
You probably like it.
I know it.
But more than just Mantra. Like you gotta actually listen to the album.
How many songs do you think I would like? Would you like 2, maybe 4? What's the number in between those two, Levi?
I think you'd like a good 5 or 4. Yeah, 4 or 5 or
How about a little less than that?
No, probably 4 or 5 because you wouldn't like the EDM tracks, and there's 14 tracks on the album. So
what number would be before 4? Like
3?
Yes, I did it. The 3-0 joke lives on. Slipknot forever, baby.
I'm disconnecting.
I did it. Yes, we got a thing where if I get Levi to say 3, I just 3-0.
Slipknot, All Out Life was a terrible single. I
do not like it that much either.
I don't like that song at all. There's nothing
to it. Fine.
Yeah. Anyway, I've just been listening to that a ton.
Papa Roach's new album's pretty decent.
Mike, everybody.
Rock is getting back there. I feel like guitars are going to start getting their way back on the radio, hopefully. And I've been playing Kingdom Hearts. I finally just beat Pokemon. Let's go.
Nice, dude.
Yep, I'm excited to start Wargroove, which is like this little Advanced Wars Fire Emblem game on the Switch.
I've heard people really like it.
Yep, I'm excited to play that when I'm sitting in bed. What else am I playing? A lot going on right now. I'm going to start Tales of Vesperia soon. But yeah, that's about it. Oh, and I'm rewatching Naruto. I'm a masochist.
I'm just going to rewatch this show. It's got like hundreds of episodes. It's fine.
I love that show. There's just a familiar feeling about it that makes you feel like you're at home.
Yeah, I get that. Cool, man. Nice. Joe, how about you, man?
Oh, you already know Blackout, Anthem. Jimmy, what did we watch lately?
I'm so glad you asked there, sir, because we watched Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales.
Not a horrible movie, but not a great movie. And what the hell? That house that they dragged through that town, like gravity was not a thing there.
Yeah, I
What?
don't know.
What
Yeah.
was this the new one?
Yeah, it was the latest one. They try to steal the. Have you seen it, Levi?
I thought that I have, maybe not.
They
It's
try
in
to
the
steal a
beginning.
safe out of the new bank, and they have ropes hooked to it. And instead of the safe coming out of the bank, it just catches on the wall, and they pull the house off the foundation all the way through the town.
In
With a
Pirates of
team
the
of horses.
Caribbean.
Yeah, in Pirates of the Caribbean.
I don't think I've seen this movie, no.
Yeah. I think I stand by my score from a while ago. I think it was like a 6 or 6.5. It's not that bad, and I don't have the hatred for it I thought I would going back into it.
Jack is not the focal point, clearly, because
Is
there's no
this the
character
movie
depth.
where they tout to bring back like Elizabeth and
Yeah, it's the very end though.
Okay.
Spoiler alert for all that. You know what? Don't listen to this show for talking about pirates. People, if you're worried about spoilers for pirates, it's too late.
Oh, you know what? I have seen this movie. Yeah, it was not great. It was
Yeah,
not great.
it's
Davy
fine.
Jones, freaking Will, should have played a part in this whole thing. He's a freaking like king of the seas, for crying out loud. The
There's a-
Flying Dutchman.
Yeah, there's a better movie in here, and I was talking to Joe about this. Man, Joe, of course we don't do commentaries for these things, but
Yeah.
I really wish the story would have focused on this group that I shouldn't say Johnny Depp. I should stop doing this. But Jack Sparrow kills a bunch of these Spanish pirate hunters, and they finally get freed, and they come back as like these crazy ghosts. And I was really hoping, that with Will being in it, that being the head of the Dutchman, that these guys would be going completely against him in an all-out like kind of seafaring war where it's like Will kind of tells these guys like, do you fear death? Like, and they're like, no, we don't fear death, but we're not going to die. We're not going to be part of your crew. So it'd be like kind of like a war between like the fishmen, who I'm not a huge fan of, but between those guys and these ghosts, because that's a more compelling story to have Will's son, I think Henry, be in the center of, because that.
Well, and then in the midst of
better.
it, they could still be going for the Trident of Poseidon, whatever.
Yeah, for sure, to break all the curses and stuff. Just
Yeah, in the midst of it, and that's kind of like the little side trail, but all the while that big war is waging, and that could be really cool. But the whole Barbossa, he's more the focal point in this film, etc. It's pretty cool. So there's some redeeming qualities to it.
Barbossa has like an arc throughout all these movies, and it's kind of cool to see like where he ends up insofar as being like the king, like not the king of all pirates, but he's just kind of he's one and he's just kind of bored. And I love that. Jeffrey Rush is my favorite thing about Pirates of the Caribbean. He really is. And seeing Jack be attacked for maybe the third or fourth time by a crew who's cursed coming after him is just, I'm just so done. Like, I'm so done with it. Like, everyone's like, we're going to get Jack Sparrow. It's like, I know everybody hates Jack, but that's the only reason he's here, is that everybody's after him. Beyond that, like Jack, there's not anything exceptional about Jack in this movie. He's just kind of, he's lost his mojo. And it's just like, man, it's just, and some of the writing is just, oh boy, some of the lines are scoffable. Like Joe and I were like,
oh yeah,
it's like really cringy. Yeah, but not so bad. I would still say these are, and I know some people really love 2 and 3. I don't feel like 4 and 5 are any worse than 2 and 3. I feel like 1 is at the top for me, and the other ones are just kind of just mixed around. Like, I don't know. 2 and 3 just get so convoluted.
Yep.
And I hate that. Oh my God. Like 3, nobody knows who cares about anybody anymore. It's just like, and then Elizabeth is the pirate lord. I'm like, oh my God. Like, you're killing me. Yeah, but we watched that and it was fun. Joe and I, we had a good time. Let's see. We were up really late watching that because that movie is long. All those movies are so long, like 2 hours plus for all of them. Jeez. Well, it's just movies, I guess. For me, Kingdom Hearts 3, which weirdly enough, I just played through some of one of the worlds that we kind of talked about here earlier, kind of part of that. Not to be spoilers, but people probably already saw stuff on it. Kingdom Hearts, Anthem, played a little bit of Apex like we talked about before. That's about it as far as gaming goes.
What is Apex? Is that League of Legends?
No, Apex Legends that's the one, the Titanfall Battle Royale thing.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, it's free. You can check it out if you want to, but it's like,
I feel like every game should get its own, like, Battle Royale, like Kingdom Hearts Battle Royale.
Yeah, dude, I play Kingdom Hearts Battle Royale. Like, people were like, is Anthem going to get Battle Royale? And it's like, how would you even, like, well,
Pokemon Battle Royale.
Just trying to blow each other up. Yeah, that, and I finally finished rewatching, and it took me forever. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Oh God,
I'm not going to talk about it long,
it
but
was terrible, wasn't it?
there's some good stuff in there. The monster designs or the beast designs.
Yep.
Levi, do we see that in theaters? I think
We did not.
Oh, maybe I went and
We
saw it with my mom.
wait. Do you see you watched the first one or the second one?
Yeah, first one.
Oh, the first one. Yeah.
I don't know if we saw that in theaters. Anyway, I like the beasts and I like the Jacob. He's the muggle or the nomad or just the regular human dude. He is so great in that. But everything else in that movie is so weird because there's like one movie about like it's kind of fun. We got to save all these animals, and then there's like this woman beats her child, but it's not really her child, and she hates magic, and he actually can turn into this terrifying orb of death and destruction. And it's like, why are these movies the same? Like, why? Why did you connect these two? It's so strange.
It is very strange. Weird. And just wait till you watch the second one.
I know. I'm like, I don't know if I'm ready for it. I do like that core quartet of even though he's kind of weird, the guy who plays Newt Scamander, Eddie Redmayne.
Yeah.
The way he plays him is weird, but it's kind of endearing. But those four, that group is kind of fun. And the sisters that are along.
I don't mind that group. The group is fine.
Yeah, the whole just Grindelwald stuff is so. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. This is the problem. I'm so sorry, and I've probably said this before. This is the problem with living authors. I'm not saying we should kill them. I'm just saying it's so scary to have these people still be around. Imagine if J.R.R. Tolkien was still alive today and he could tweet about anything about hobbits. And he's just like, oh, it's just canon. Like, that's the scary thing. It's too much power.
Been gay the whole time.
Because what Tolkien would do, people would write into him and he would just like say, I don't know. He's like, we can guess together. We could, because he always, the way he reported on those books in a way was like, he was just reporting on what he kind of had thought or had seen, you know, but it was more like a retelling, not like fact-based, where it's like freaking J.K. Rowling's like, yes, actually the wizards in Hogwarts used to go to the bathroom right in the hallways and they had to magic it away. And it's like, why do we need this information? Why did she like, that's why she shouldn't be writing screenplays for movies. Just saying, if you're a big Harry Potter fan, just think about it. It's just, she's ruining the thing you love. I'm just kidding. They can't do that. George Lucas couldn't do that with Star Wars. We still love Star Wars. Okay, I'm sorry. I'll stop on my diatribe here. We're moving into community feedback and questions. Yeah, flawless transition before I lose my mind. All right, let me write this thing down and we're good to go. How are you boys doing? You guys are quiet over there. Makes me worry. Very quiet. Okay, that's fine. All right, excellent. That's fine. You want to talk back? I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear you say. So I asked our Legionnaires what their favorite ad from the Super Bowl was. Did you guys have a favorite ad from the Super Bowl? Did you guys see a lot of them? See some of them?
Yeah, I really like the NFL one that they put on where it was all these iconic ex-players, Hall of Famers, and then current players playing a game of tackle football at a wedding party, and they're trying to get from one end of the ballroom to the other, kind of a thing, and they're passing it back and forth. Defenders are freaking hitting them and smashing them into champagne towers. I thought it was kind of comical and fun. What else did I like? I like the Ram commercial. Oh, no.
I thought you were going to make some sort of great joke about saying you love the commercial that was going throughout the night where it was like the Rams versus the Patriots. And you're like, this ad's going on for so long. You're like, Jesus, like they're playing a game or something.
Oh, Ram trucks. But I don't like the Rams, and it had to do with the Rams, and it was the whole thing. Anywho, I didn't really catch much commercial-wise.
There's like a fumble joke in that because my mom was telling me about it. She's like, oh, yeah, I saw this ad for like all these old football players, and they dropped like a football cake or something, and they're all like fumble, and they all like jumped for it or something. Like, was that part of that? Okay.
No.
Levi, how about you? Did you see any ads over there? And don't say Avengers.
So besides Avengers, I also really liked the Game of Thrones ad.
Yeah, I heard conflicting results on that because it was like, is the Bud Light night like supposed to be dumb? Like, is that the Game of Thrones ad you're talking about?
Yeah. I don't know anything about that, but anything that has to do with Game of Thrones, I was like all about.
Okay, sure, fair enough. We have two
writing. April, am I right, Levi? Yeah.
You guys, you're so great. You guys can watch it together. Levi, you can take my spot. Ryan, our buddy Ryan, who's always tuning in, he's always watched stuff. We have to do a hashtag for the end of the show, guys, for Ryan to tweet at us. So remember that. Anybody could do it, but Ryan's the one who does it. Ryan says, I only saw the Twilight Zone commercial, but I'm excited about the Twilight Zone vibe throughout the commercial.
Yes, that looks awesome.
Yeah, he's Peel or whatever, or K or whichever one.
Listen,
doing a lot of work.
If he can do as well as he did with Get Out on the Twilight Zone, I'm super stoked. I loved Get Out. So,
cool.
Yeah.
This one comes in from my buddy Corey Lang, the guy we do Game Sharks with. Hi, Corey. He said this, and he sent the one with the Microsoft Super Bowl commercial with the disabled gamers and the controllers and stuff. And I actually did watch that one. And I think the thing that got me the most about this is that it is beautiful. I really like it. But the moment the dad is talking about his kid playing with the other kids, and he can't even talk. He's like, he has a moment. I don't know if you guys saw it, but he's like, it allowed my kid to like play with the other kids. And like, he starts, it's like, but it's so beautiful. Like, I think that's the one that like you should probably say is like your favorite one. But Microsoft, your PR team, like that is freaking good PR. You're gonna have a banger year, Microsoft. I'm calling it right now. Between this and E3 being open season because Sony's not there, I think Microsoft's gonna come out freaking swinging this year. Like I think I'm excited.
We're gonna make a Halo mobile game, and people are just gonna lose their shit.
Yeah, don't. I hope they don't do it. Don't do it. Blizzard's like,
this is all we have to announce this year is Halo for mobile.
People would rush the stage. Phil Spencer would get just like tackled off the stage, like bro, like he tried to get in a Forza car quick, and they're like, go.
And we're releasing the next Fable on the PS Vita.
Yeah. Oh my. Did you guys hear Xbox Live's coming to Nintendo Switch?
Yep.
I think Nintendo and Xbox are going to come on stage and just holding hands, just like freaking Reggie and Phil, and they're like, together we can topple Sean Layden. No. But I'll probably go with that too. That Microsoft ad was really good. That's so cool that Microsoft's making that available to everybody. I think that's really cool. Good on you, Microsoft. All right, guys, 2 quick questions, then we can wrap it up. All right, this comes in from Kira, our friend Kira. Hi, Kira. She says, if as consumers and gamers, people dislike free-to-play games, but also have issues with subscription-based games, think like MMOs, what's the medium between that will satisfy the audience and make them feel comfortable with the money they're spending, as well as what they're receiving from the game? Where's the middle ground? You guys either have an idea?
Oh my gosh.
I know it's kind of tough. I know I throw it at you at the end, but...
What's the question?
I'll do it again.
Is this a Missile Mage question?
No, this isn't a Missile Mage question. We have one of those up next.
Okay, good.
Basically, she's asking what's the happy medium between subscription-based, like World of Warcraft used to be, and free-to-play that makes people feel like they're getting their money's worth from the game, and just like where's the happy medium? Is it just buying the game the one time?
Like the happy medium? Do you mean like? I don't understand what you mean by that.
There's no right answer. Like, is it just how, like, with Anthem, we have to pay once to get all of it? Would you rather pay like $2 a month?
Oh, you're talking about general. Like,
yeah, just in general.
In general, pay once. Yeah.
You like the pay once model?
Yeah, I'm old school.
Okay. Joe, how about you? What do you think?
Some in-game purchases.
Sure.
Well, yeah, pay once though, right, Joe? Like, if you wanted to buy skins, you'll fucking buy skins, but you don't want to be forced to buy it every month.
Okay, yeah.
So maybe the question to get more specific too, because I know Kira's got a little bit more of like an MMO background. What would you say for like, let's say a new MMO came out that's kind of wants to be like World of Warcraft? Do you make it free to play and just charge them like nickel and dime them at every turn? Or do you have like a really cheap subscription?
No, like I could justify for the amount of hours I put into World of Warcraft and the amount of content it has, I can justify paying monthly for that when I'm into it. Because I know that it's supposed to be going towards creating more content. Yeah. If they gave me another World of Warcraft, then hell yeah, I'd pay for it.
Yeah, see, that's the weird thing, like, because Anthem is kind of like that. Cause just jumping back to what we were talking about before, because Joe was saying earlier, like, we want to pay up front, so hopefully they'll support the game. What if, like, you paid, like, $40 for Anthem, like, the base chunk that's coming out right away, and then, like, they could have done a season pass, or you could have just given them some more money for, like, some other special, like a new Javelin would have been like half price for you because you bought in at the main game. Like, it's not, there's no real easy answer, right? Because every game is different and it depends on how much stuff there is. But you felt, Levi, like you could play years of World of Warcraft and then come back when you wanted to and pay when you wanted to, as opposed to paying all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Joe, you got anything to add to that?
No.
Okay. Fair enough. Kira, that was a good question. I know it's not a perfect answer. It's so hard. Free to play just feels like a bad word or a bad term. You guys
Sounds cheap.
There's a bad connotation with free to play because people think free to play means cheap. One that's not true. It just means that,
doesn't have the same impact as a AAA.
Sure.
Well, that's not true. Look at Fortnite. Fortnite's a free to play and it's huge. League of Legends is huge.
Exactly.
Well,
exactly. I mean, that's not
so
true,
I don't think it's a
that's what
cheap
people
thing.
think.
I think it does get kind of scary though that some AAA titles become free to play because they weren't successful, i.e.,
Evolved.
i.e.,
Was it AAA?
Star Wars. So
Knights of the Old the Old Republic. Yeah, I think people look at Warframe and they say that's free to play done correctly. I look at Monster Hunter and say that's how you do not free to play, but pay up front for a games as a service model because you pay all that money and then they just support it forever. It seems like it's just like, oh my God. And you know what? Like we've talked about before, and I'll probably say it again. When that expansion comes out, I personally don't care if it's worth or if it is $40 or $60. I'm sure it'll be 40 or 30. I will buy it because I know that like I've had so much fun and I put so many hours into this game. It's ridiculous. It's like, it's a no-brainer for me. I just love it. I'm like, I'm happy to be like, yep, thank you, because I know it'll be bonkers. Like, I know it'll just be like, this is a lot of freaking stuff. Like, if Anthem came out in a month and said, hey, we have an expansion that you can buy, I'd be like, uh-oh. Like, I'd be like, like you didn't earn it, guys. You have not earned it yet. You're not like Witcher, all right? You're not like CD Projekt Red, who could be like, yeah, there's a 10 or 20 hour expansion. If you want to buy it, you can. It's like, it's different. All right, last question coming in here from Missile Mage. Thank you, Missile Mage. We love it. He says, I've been playing Final Fantasy X-2, and one of my favorite voice lines is a rare one where one of the characters shouts, duck soup, at the end of a battle. If you had your own completely random phrase to shout out at the end of a battle that is completely non-battle related, what would you shout?
Pickle Weasel.
You just go scream Pickle Weasel?
Pickle Weasel. Yep.
All right, Joe?
Glitter Weasel.
Okay, but there's a weasel thing going on here, and I don't know how I feel about it. It's animal related. It seems weird. Joey, you got something better than Glitter Weasel, right?
What he yells going into battle?
No, when you win a battle.
Oh.
Like your victory cry.
Get...
That's kind of battle related though, right?
Oh,
I won a blackout match solo one time, and that's what I yelled at the end when I killed the guy. I was like,
I'll give you another second. I drew inspiration for one of my favorite shows, MXC, Most Extreme Elimination Challenge, where they would dub over the voices of people. And one of my favorite ones was just some person, he ran up and they probably yell something like in Japanese that's just like, hey, here we go. But they just dub over and they're like, I didn't wear any socks. Like, like something dumb like that, where it's like, what? Like, or like I would yell something like, can I open my eyes now? Like that's, I don't know.
I don't know. Leroy.
No, you can't do that. It's battle related.
Wait, not battle related.
Non-battle related. Like duck soup. I know it's kind of tough. I know I'm making you think. I'm thinking too. I want to give Missile Mage a good one.
Good night.
good night.
Oh, mine would be Kisses and Friendship. Yeah, after like a sick battle, some guy's like bleeding out on the ground, be like, kisses and friendship. And they'd be like, what? I lost to that guy? Then I just give him a big hug. It's okay. You did okay. Yeah, kisses and friendship. Yeah. Joe, you have to think about it. We have to think of the hashtag we can have Ryan tweeted us. What should our hashtag be for this show, everybody?
Hashtag kisses and friendship.
Yeah, you're totally right. Let's make it a thing.
Hashtag Pickle Weasel.
Yeah, either one of those. hashtag kisses and friendship or hashtag pickle weasel. Ryan, you don't have to tweet both, or anyone else could tweet any of those at us. You can tweet that, or hashtag critical podcast is also fun too. But you can tweet at any of us. You can tweet at our official account, which is just at Go Critical. That's at capital G, capital C. Or you can tweet at me. My personal one is at JimmyGood013. Send me a GIF of a dog. That would be great. I love dogs. Joe, if they want to tweet you, because you're on Twitter all the time, where would they tweet you?
More so than recently.
Wait, more so recently, not more so than
recently. More so than before.
If so, then facto.
At Lever_627. That's Lever just like Beaver, only with an L.
Perfect. And if they wanted to tweet at Levi, they would tweet at...
I'm at Levi Fletcher.
How do you spell that, Levi?
Levi just like evil, but with an L.
Wait, what? You don't spell evil with an L?
No, Fletcher is an FLCHER.
Yep. FLETCHER.
It's great because when you're not on here, Joe, he'll always just be like, I'm at Lever, just like Beaver. We need to make alternate accounts. It'll be great.
A lot of people spell my last name like Lever.
Yeah, I know. I
I'm
get
like,
that.
No, that'd be like Lee or something, yeah.
Yeah, I had substitute teachers in school that were like, is there a levy here? And I'm like, really? Really?
Wow, that's pathetic. And you're teaching us?
Yeah. Not great. I don't think I ever had that. And thankfully, none of them made fun of my last name. It was mostly just the kids. And then I'd be like, yep, you're right. My parents thought about calling me Dad, but they decided to go with the name that legally they had to give me. So as far as the last name, I'm like, fine. Johnny B. Good? No, shut up. I've heard the song. Like, I've heard it. Yeah, that's why I don't listen to it. Anyway, let's move on from that. If you want to support this show, one great way to do so, head over to our Spreadshirt. I know Joe's wearing a hat. I'm wearing a shirt right now. If you want to support us and just like be wearing our stuff, that is so helpful because it's a conversation starter. Because people, you know what? You guys are in on the ground floor. Not a lot of people know about us. So you do this, and people be like, oh, what is that? You know,
for 3 easy low monthly payments of the amount of $29.99, you too can be a shareholder in Critical Reviews.
Yeah. No, please keep going. I just wanted to make sure that you could say whatever you wanted to say. It's a safe space, Joe. I want you to. He's trying to get you on a 3 easy payments thing.
Yeah, the 3 easy payments thing. It also allows you to play. I already forgot the name of the damn
Joe,
Apex Legends.
What am I supposed to be playing here? If you
you know what?
The Patreon.
You know what? You know what's wrong with that game? Stupid name.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't like the name.
I agree with you.
Yeah,
it's bad. It's bad. Yeah. Apex.
But for 3 easy low payments of $29.99, you too can play Apex Legends with Jimmy, myself.
Not how that works, but you could, if you're on Xbox, you could definitely just play with us for free. I want to thank the people who make the show possible. I think this is Dale for the amazing intro and outro music, our theme, and the one and only Joran Evers, the guy who does pretty much all the art you see here on the channel, except for the Mono y Mano. That's Mr. Stephen Purifoy. Both phenomenal artists. If you're interested in seeing Joran's work, go check out Niraj28. That's Joran backwards. Or at Jade Circle Art over on Twitter and Instagram. It's really, really, really good stuff. And between him, Steven, and Lynn Redder, she actually drew a picture of me recently, and it was fantastic. Now, I know it seems a little self-indulgent, but it looked really good. They've been doing this thing, guys, where they send one of their drawings to the other ones, and these other artists draw their version of that same character. And it's so cool to see all of their characters like transformed into like the Joran style and like all this. It's so cool, like watching. That's the reason to be on Twitter, to watch like talented people like chat with each other. I'm just like, so proud of them. But yeah, if you want to support us, like we said before, Patreon is a great place to do so. If you want to just throw us $1, even $2, that helps.
$1 makes Jimmy holler.
Yeah, I'm like, I see the $1 pop up in the email. I'm like, oh, like, oh, like, yeah. One of these days, if we get discovered and I'm just screaming in my room, like, oh. But yes, for people who have continued to support us, thank you so much, and just sharing us around, that's huge too. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the week. Again, hashtag either kisses and friendship or pickle weasel. It really doesn't matter to me. Or like you could just do critical podcast. It seems kind of boring at this point, though, right? But thank you, boys, for being here. Levi, thank you for joining us a little bit later. Is there anything else you want to say before we end the show?
Welcome to the game.
Okay, and Joe, is there anything else? Thank you for being here talking Hobbs and Shaw and all this stuff.
I've already come up with enough
I thought it was Calvin and Hobbs, not Hobbs and Sean.
Dude, that would be... Someone made that. Our artists who are listening, can we get a Hobbs and Calvin like little draw? That would be great to see, like the freaking tiger leaning against a motorcycle, just that's the concept art. But we didn't see Dwayne Johnson on a motorcycle in the trailer. I don't know. Anyway, thank you all for being here. Just remember to adapt and overcome. We'll see you next time.